morning, everyone. Welcome to another series of Motivating Monday. Today, as part of the Heroes of Faith series, we will draw biblical lessons from Joseph. We can learn about God's providence upon Joseph and through which how he handled difficult moments. Joseph was of unblemished character, with an exceptional gift for leadership and ability to make the best of every unpleasant situation. At the young age of 30, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as the second in command. It's like the Prime Minister of Singapore equivalent, and have charge over all the affairs of the kingdom. He was also given responsibility of managing food resources, which are essential for survival in preparation for the upcoming famine that is about to hit Egypt. By God's grace, Joseph also saved his family and many other Israelites from the famine. Pharaoh also gave him a lot of riches, and he also got married. However, if we were to look into Joseph's life, there were many instances where he struggled. Just like a ball, when thrown down, it bounces back up. Every time Joseph was being brought down, God lifted him up. When he was stripped of his colorful coat and sold a slave, the brothers could not strip off his virtue and prudence that God eventually made him an overseer of Potiphar's house. Next, when he was falsely accused and thrown into jail, God also comforted Joseph and made him a ruler within the prison. Then, when he was forgotten by the chief butler, whom he helped, God was faithful and remembered him and made him the governor of Egypt. We live in a tempting world, surrounded with many snares by Satan. Every place, relation, and enjoyment around abounds with such bad influences. So, temptation can lead us to self gratification and disobedience to God. In 1 Corinthians 10, chapter 13, temptation, which is peirasmos, means to allure to sin and break God's law, whether arising from one's own desires or from outward circumstances. So currently, these are some examples of temptations in the world. As mentioned in 1 John 2, verse 16, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life are of the world. So succumbing to such desires like drinking beers, watching porn, chasing after material wealth, and or seeking after vainglory or positions to honor oneself. Okay, as Solomon once mentioned that all of these are bad behaviors and wants, and are all empty vanity and not satisfying. So though Joseph resided in an idolatrous environment, he was not living in hypocrisy like his brothers who lied to his father Jacob. In Matthew 15, verse 8, Jesus described the Pharisees as hypocrites who appeared righteous, but their hearts were far from Jesus. No pious affections towards God, and no concern about their soul and eternity. So when Potiphar's wife made her advances to Joseph, he was strict and denied her. Genesis chapter 39, verse 9. Likewise, we have to listen to our conscience, which is guided by God's word. They are our safeguards and warning to alert us of any forms of danger that could harm us or others. Joseph's resistance to this temptation was brave, and the victory is honorable to God. Joseph is also very compassionate. He forgave his brothers that did harm to him. His tears were actually full of tenderness and strong affections for the love of his family, as we see in Genesis chapter 45, verse 1 to 9. He also ensured their well-being and reunion. This is a representation of God's grace and compassion to those who have repented and returned to God. Just like the father of the prodigal son, who, when seeing his returning son afar off, had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him, in Luke 15, verse 20. We must also likewise learn from Joseph to forgive, as we hope to be likewise be forgiven by God for our trespasses against God. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14. So in conclusion, today, brethren, I want to encourage you not to give up when someone or an outcome lets you down. We have to be of good cheer because God is with us. We have to seek God and His wisdom because He will definitely provide for us. We should submit ourselves wholly to Him without any hypocrisy or doubts. And finally, we have to be compassionate to also forgive others and ourselves. From here, we can also seek additional help when necessary, either professionally or through trusted brethren, colleagues, and family members. So, with that, I'm come to the end of today's sharing session and want to wish you a great week ahead. And please do take care. And on a side note, for questions for further reading, please also look at the question. So, what made Joseph bounce back every time he was brought down? And the answer is from Colossians 3, verse 15, it is God's presence and peace that's with Joseph that makes all he does prosperous. Thank you for listening.